Parrot's Tale: The Fall of the Tyrant Eagle. The forest was quiet, with only the soft rustle of leaves as the parrot gathered the wolf and raccoon under a towering oak. They had been arguing about fairness and responsibility in the forest, and the parrot had decided it was time for another tale. Once, began the parrot, high above the mountains, there lived a mighty eagle, the ruler of the skies. The rise of the eagle. This eagle, the parrot continued, was born into privilege. With wings that could span the clouds and talons that could grasp the strongest prey, he was unmatched in power. The other creatures of the mountains revered him, and many brought him offerings of food and treasures, hoping to earn his favor. At first, the eagle ruled with wisdom and fairness, ensuring balance among the creatures. But as the years passed, he grew proud of his position and began to see himself as not just a leader but a kingdom destined to command all. The parrot's voice deepened. He began to demand more from the creatures below, taking the best food for himself, and forcing others to build a grand nest on the highest peak. Those who dared to question him were left to starve, while those who obeyed were allowed to scrape by. The turning point. But power, said the parrot, is like a storm. It can grow and destroy, but it cannot last forever. One season, the eagle grew so confident in his rule that he ignored the needs of the creatures below entirely. The fields where the mice and rabbits foraged became barren, as their efforts were spent carrying tribute to the eagle. The smaller birds, too weak from hunger, could no longer fly as high to reach the berries that sustained them. Yet the eagle laughed. "It is not my problem if they are weak," he declared. "I am strong, and the strong must rule." The wolf and raccoon exchanged uneasy glances as the parrot continued. Consequences. Then came the storm, the parrot said solemnly. A fierce and relentless storm that lasted for weeks, tearing through the mountains and the forest below. The eagle, safe in his lofty nest, believed he was invincible. But the creatures of the mountains had grown weary of his rule. When the winds settled, they refused to bring him food or repair his damaged nest. The eagle, so accustomed to privilege and power, suddenly found himself alone. His strength, once his greatest asset, was useless without the cooperation of those below. Weakened by hunger and cold, he tried to descend to the forest for help. But the creatures there turned away, remembering how he had taken from them, without giving back. And so, the parrot said, his voice dropping to a whisper, the mighty eagle fell brought down not by the storm, but by his own arrogance and the loss of the trust and goodwill of those he once ruled. The lesson for the forest. The wolf and raccoon were silent, reflecting on the tale. Finally, the wolf spoke. Power without responsibility leads to ruin. The eagle thought himself untouchable, but his strength could not save him when he had no allies. The raccoon nodded. Privilege is not a right to take from others, but an opportunity to lift them up. The eagle forgot that his power depended on the support of those he ruled. The parrot smiled gently. Exactly. Remember, my friends, that true strength lies not in domination but in service. Power is a gift, not a weapon, and it must be wielded with care and humility. For when we abuse what we are given, the storm will come, we will find ourselves alone in its aftermath. The wolf and raccoon exchanged a knowing look, their earlier argument forgotten. Together, they began to discuss ways to share the forest's resources more fairly, ensuring that no creature would ever suffer under the weight of unchecked power again. And high above them, the parrot watched with pride, knowing that his tale had planted a seed of wisdom in their hearts. Moral power and privilege are fleeting if not tempered with responsibility, humility, and service to others. Abuse them, and you risk losing everything. Here lies the lesson of the eagle's fall. Power untempered will destroy us all. Privilege abused, trust cast aside, leaves even the mighty with nowhere to hide. Let those who lead remember this tale, for without humility, all kings will fail.